Okay, so the first thing I wanted to do was show you just a couple of basics for bringing food with you in terms of snacks, especially I don't know if we have any drivers in here or people that are not able to stop and eat, something that's quick, something that's easy. I brought two things. One is, does everybody know what hummus is? Yeah, probably you even sell it here, I would imagine. So hummus is made with chickpeas or garbanzo beans, olive oil, lemon juice. This particular one is from H-E-B. It's got roasted pine nuts on top, and usually lemon or lime, depending on which part of Asia you would come from. It's really high in fiber. They use olive oil in it, so it's got the good fats. It's got the good carbohydrates that come with beans. It's a great snack. I do it with these Triscuits. I get the ones that are with just a hint of salt. It's a whole grain. It has no saturated fat. It's made with soybean oil. It's got a little bit of salt. I do get the low salt ones because the other ones are pretty salty. And basically all I do with this stuff, and I'm gonna put these in a bowl and I'm gonna let you guys just take a taste. Is there anybody here that hasn't had hummus before? It's a good source of protein. So in our snacks, what we're looking for is a combination of at least 3 food groups. I have these tiny little Tupperware containers. I put in 2 tablespoons and then about 6 crackers, and that's sufficient for either mid-morning or a mid-afternoon snack. About 6 Triscuits and 2 tablespoons of this. It's totally good for a snack portion. Also, what my mom brought home the other day was she went to Costco and she found they have these boxes with little portion size hummus cups. They come, I think, like 24 to a box, and it's got perfect 2 tablespoon size portions. So you can have that. You just peel off the top, bring you some crackers in a Ziploc, and you're good to go. Great snack for the afternoon to keep you from that 5 o'clock, 5:30 thing where your eyes get big and you want to eat like everything in the refrigerator when you get home. Snacking in the afternoon between lunch and dinner will prevent that kind of I'll eat anything kind of thing. You can make it home, take a deep breath, look in your kitchen and go, okay, I have a minute here. I can make something healthy. So that's kind of where I'm going with the snack stuff. It keeps you from overeating at your larger meals. Go ahead and pass this around. And this one too. Pásalo. All right, so the other item, one of the best ways to snack, either morning or afternoon, is with fruit. Especially hard fruits like apples, pears, to some extent nectarines, but the harder fruits, because harder fruits have more fiber. I typically combine a harder fruit, so a higher fiber fruit for carbohydrates, for that like kind of fructose sugar that gives you that immediate energy burst, with something that's a little more dense like nuts. So you can do one of 2 things. You can take with you every day a handful of nuts, be it walnuts, almonds, pecans, whichever kind. But if you put your hand like this and you fill it with whole nuts, ya vale, that's enough. You don't need more. Ya vale. That's enough. Right there, right across the top, not so they're like falling out and you need another hand to hold it. No, right in the palm of your cupped hand. That and an apple, a pear, some hard fruit, and it keeps well when you're carrying it. It's perfect. The other thing I really like to do is use a nut butter. So I bought the Central Market brand. It has 1 ingredient. 1. Peanuts. That's all it's got. It's got no salt. It's got no hydrogenated oils. It's got no sugar, no palm oil, nothing like that. It's got peanuts and nothing else. And so this is the same as a palmful of peanuts. Or you can cut your apple up, you put it into a Ziploc, and you squeeze lemon or lime juice in the bag. And you just Ziploc it, and that keeps your apple from getting brown. It also gives it that kind of tartness and keeps it moist while you're carrying it around. You can just slice it in half, and what I always do is I just get these seeds out. Just a little nut butter on the top, and you can tell this is a lot more runny than regular peanut butter, right? That's because it doesn't have any of those solid oils. Remember, solid oils are typically hydrogenated. So you can bring, again, the little Tupperware container, bring a little bit of peanut butter, 2 tablespoons. Again, we're working with small amounts. These are snacks. You know, you're not supposed to feel full after you have this. I think that's going to be enough. Apples and nuts, awesome, awesome treat. But those snacks work equally as well for adults as they do for children. You should, when you send your kid to school with some snacks packed, pack it for yourself as well and bring it with you. So while these guys are passing that around, now you're going to get a taste of a really healthy, no-cook dish that is basically tostadas. What we do is we take black beans. These are canned black beans, so what I always do when I buy canned beans of any type is I rinse them to get rid of most of the salt. Now they're cooked with salt, so there's going to be salt in the bean, but you get rid of the juice and you get rid of a huge portion of that sodium. We've got tomatoes. I chopped up jalapenos. It's nothing complicated here. We're going to squeeze some lime juice in there. Garlic. All right, and then for greens, instead of using iceberg lettuce or some other low color lettuce, what I did was I bought baby spinach and arugula. It's a mix. I got it here at H-E-B. It's triple washed. You don't have to do anything but dump it out of the bag. It's ready to go. And we're going to use that and the tomatoes as the topping, because the more color you get in your food, the more nutrient dense it is. I'm going to take some of these rinsed beans, put them in here. That's about a can. Mincing garlic is a skill. It requires practice. If you don't have the good knife skills to cut the garlic really small, one of the best tools you can get in your kitchen is a garlic press. Make sure that when you buy garlic that the peel is really tight. If it starts to loosen, it's gotten old. All right. You get a garlic clove like this. You don't do anything to it. Nothing. You leave the skin on, everything, and you put it in that hole. Right? Take this thing, go like this, squeeze it, and it pushes your garlic into whatever it is you're making. So there you've got your garlic. And now we're going to do a quarter cup of fresh chopped cilantro. I have some washed cilantro here. Whenever you cut leafy, small leafy things like this, if you take them and you turn them and kind of gather them up, it cuts far easier. And you just keep the point of your knife down and start chopping. Don't lift your knife off the board. You leave it on the board. So I'm looking, this might be a little more than half a cup. A handful. That's how my grandmother taught me to do it. There you go. There's your cilantro. You got 3/4 cups of queso fresco. And I just bought straight up H-E-B queso fresco. There's some other brands, name brands, if you have a preference. And then with this, I'm just going to kind of shred it, because when I mix it, it's gonna break up. What I did, if you look in here in front of me, that we've got these baked tostadas. You know, I was looking for some low salt tostadas to make these, and I came across these. They're baked. They're really thick corn tortillas baked, and they're so wonderful. They don't fall apart like typical chalupa shells. They stay together much better. They're really, really good. And then 1 lime juiced, and I juice them, squish them up first. Probably some of you guys already know this. If you squish your lemons and limes first, it's much easier to juice them. You can also use a juicer if you want. I think I may have one in my box, but it's just another something to wash. Notice that I'm not adding salt, because we've already got salty kind of salt beans. going on, so there's no need for more salt. Now, I've cut up my tomatoes already. I've got jalapenos, which I don't think is on this list, but I put it in because I like them. Is everybody here okay with jalapenos? Tell me when. Lots of fiber. We've got some dairy for calcium and some fat to like spread the energy around. We've got lemon juice with an acid that can help you start digesting those proteins. You've got all the phytonutrients that come in leafy greens, both the arugula spinach mix and the cilantro. You've got a protein source in the beans. You got basically every single food group that you need in one. You've got whole grains in the corn. Corn tortillas are really rich in calcium because of the way that the corn is treated before they use it. You don't have anything fried. There's no saturated fats here except the little bit that you get in the cheese. And you could have a couple of these for dinner. What's the breakdown? One of them, 280 calories, so you could have 2 of these for dinner with I don't know, you could even make like a chicken breast or something like that, have you a good 650 calorie dinner, and you're good to go. These things you can add to them if you wanted to. You could add a lean meat to them and feel really good about the dinner you make, and you don't even have to turn the stove on, which to me is the best part. You do have to do some chopping. Does anybody here ever like practice knife skills? It's a good thing to do. You get you like 2 or 3 onions. Start with onions. Cut up onions into little pieces and put them in a Tupperware container in your refrigerator. And then you can, whenever you do a saute or anything, if you're broiling any kind of meats or anything like that, you've got onions already prepared. You can be generous with the tomatoes. I think we have lots. Now, I know this isn't a huge serving, but you get the idea when you get to the beans and stuff and the taste. It's not bad, right? For healthy. If you loaded this up, for example, 1 15-ounce can, I believe there are 4 servings. So 4 to 3. So you would have like about 3 times that amount of beans in a serving. So you could load up a couple of those things pretty good and have a pretty substantial. I've had it for dinner before where I've put the beans all over the top of the tostada, and I couldn't eat more than 2. A grilled piece of chicken or broiled chicken or even some white fish. So those are my consejos, my suggestions. Your fruit with some sort of nuts, especially, a great snack. It'll tide you over, especially that afternoon snack, you guys, because I know you get home, if you're too hungry or you're on your way home and you're too hungry, you're not going to wait to get home and prepare something healthy. Okay, so along with the list of things to avoid in restaurants, I'll also send you how to build your pantry. So what it is it's a list of all of the items, the stock items that you should have in your pantry so that you can go home without going to the grocery store and you've got things that you can make a healthy meal with. You don't have to stop by the drive-thru. It's got both a few frozen items, especially frozen vegetables, some frozen chicken breast and fish, and then what to put in your pantry so that you can make a meal without having to go to the fast food place. So we have regular class next week, and then we'll come back to the kitchen after that. All right, you guys, thanks a lot.